Hi folks, so in this video what we're going to do is complete this little orthographic problem here, which is from the 2025 Junior Cert Common Level Exam. So the question here itself says, the image below shows the design of a road roller, draw part 1, an elevation in the direction of arrow A, part 2, a plan projected from the elevation, part 3, an end view, otherwise known as an end elevation in the direction of arrow B, and then part 4, an in elevation, colour or shade the surface which is not a true shape. Okay, so starting off, what I always get my students is to work out their overall dimensions, just using a little bit of maths. So just using a little bit of maths there, what is the overall length? The length is associated with the elevation, 25, 80 and 25. That adds up to 130. What's my overall width, or some people call it the depth of the object? It looks like it's 60 there, and then the height is 50 plus 20, which is 70, plus 40 is 110. So there's my overall dimensions, and I'm going to use those to actually draw in my object. Okay, I'm going to create a box that it's all going to fit inside. So starting off there, I need to actually, now when you're doing this question, I'm just going to adjust the page there. So you can see the top of the page there on the border. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you have enough room to fit it in. So if I measure down roughly, you can see 110. So from the top, I'm going to measure down about 140, I think is appropriate. And that's where I'm going to do my XY line. So that's going to be my XY line. Now, the elevation arrow A is pointing to the left. That means the elevation goes on the left hand side. So starting here, I'm going to pick a start point and I'm going to measure. Actually start a little bit closer because I think I could run into the lines there a little bit. Starting there, I'm going to measure a distance of 130 for the length. I'm going to do a line up and a line up, and I'm going to measure a height of 110, so 11 centimeters tall. There's the 110. And there is the elevation box. Now, end elevation, arrow B is pointing to the right, so it goes on the right hand side of the elevation. I usually get my students to keep a gap of about 1 to 2 centimeters. I'm going to go 15 millimeters between my views. And from that mark there, I'm going to measure the width, which in this case is 60. Starting here. And the reason I use the box method is because everything has to fit inside the box there. And you know you can't go wrong. Okay, it'll be the same height. Now, normal rules will apply here then. This is the elevation, this is the end elevation. The plan always goes underneath the elevation. So from the corner of the elevation closest to the end elevation, I'm going to do a line of 45 degrees so that I can project my width down. So 45 degree line, and bring the 60 down until it hits the 45 degree line. Or it hits the 45 degree line, I'm going to project it across until it hits that line there. And this is going to help me create my plan. And the last line I have to bring down is the overall length. And before you know it, we have the elevation box, end elevation and plan. Now, starting off by putting in my various measurements, I'm going to do as much as I can in the elevation. We might be able to do it all, we'll see. So starting off by putting in my lengths, 25, 80 and 25. So I'm going to pop those in. 25 plus the 80, with 25 left over, tick, tick and tick. Happy with those, they're all done. Now I'm going to put in my various heights. My heights are 50, 20 and 40. So 50, mark up 50 first, and then 20 from there, with 40 left over. Okay, so I'm going to project those guys across now, lightly. Okay, so there's the 50 and the 20, the 40 left over. And now on this line here, we can see we've got a series of measurements as well. From that mark there, I've actually got a mark here. I'm going to measure, so from the top, I'm going to go 15, 35. So these guys are all done as well. Now I'm going to go from the top right, up here in the box, I'm going to go 15, 35, 20, 10 and 25. Starting with the 15. Then I'm going to measure 35 and 20. So we'll do the 35 first. Then I have a 20, then I have a 10, and then I have a 25. Okay, so now that I've that done, I'm going to start putting in the information. This is going to come down to here. Okay, that's going to come down, then this guy comes down as far as there, just so I'm aware. That's going to be the platform here, so this will actually come down to there. Likewise with this guy, that's the gap for the whole slot in there, so that's where it's going to come across, and down there's going to be a little slot there. Excuse me. And then I'll come down, and this guy goes down to here. Okay, so I have a little bit there. I'll figure out that in a second. You can see what I'm putting in there. Now I'm going to do the holes, or sorry, not the holes, the wheels. So you can see here it just says R for the wheels, but if you look here, it's radius 25, and you can see the diameter height is 50. That means the radius is 25. So from these marks here, the easiest thing for me to do is do a line up and a line up, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to measure up a height of 25. Now that I've marked up 25, do a line across, and I've located my center. My center point is here and here. Okay, just zoom in there a little bit more, so you can see that fully on the screen. That guy out of the way. Okay, now what I'm going to do, take my compass, and before I even scribe in my arc, I'm just going to check. Quite happy with that. Same thing here. So you can see the two wheels. Now that I have the two wheels in, pop in the base, which is that line going in between, and from here, from the 12 o'clock position on the left wheel, I go up to there. It's actually not up there, it's up 15 mil. So if you see here, it's up a height of 15 and 20. So from this mark here, I'm going to use my 10 as my guide. I'm going to go up as far as 11.5, then 20, there's 10 and 20. Okay, and then that line is the one that's going to go across. Apologies, I made a mistake there. And this is the guy that comes down to it at an angle. And there we go. So tricky enough now, that. Okay, put this guy in here. And looking at that there, zip it there like that. And there we go. So that is the elevation done. Now we might have a little bit of hidden detail. You can see here there's a little slot cut out inside here. Now where does that actually come from? Now if you follow it over, look, it hits there. So if you follow this line over here, it's actually in line with this surface here. So that actually is my hidden detail line there. So I've got the hidden detail line there. That is the elevation fully complete. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on to the end elevation. What do I see when I look in the direction of ROB? So any of these guys are going to come across. So the bottom of the guy here will come across, top of the wheels come across, this surface will come across. That guy there, which is the front surface here, will come across. Then this line will come across, this guy, and that's already across at the top. Okay, so those lines will come across. Now I'm going to go and put in my width. So at the very top at the back, I've done all these guys, 15, 20, they're all done. Quite a lot of measurements there, and the 15. So all I'm actually needing now is the widths. I've got 20, 20 and 20 at the top. It's quite easy. At the top, 20 plus 20. Okay, and they join down as far as there. So they're actually going to join down to here. I'm not sure if I'm going to see them all, but I will put them in lightly for now. So that looks fine to me. Now, let's heavy in what we can. So looking at that in the middle, just making sure, yeah, that's the 20 and the 20. So that actually will come down here as well, as far as here. If you follow that line over, that's where the front slot is. And it's tricky enough now. It's going to go heavy there. Heavy there. Heavy in that, and this is going to go heavy all the way down, likewise with this guy. And as always, you should heavy in your XY line. Just put that in there and label. So that's our XY line. Now I see the front of the wheel, so when I'm looking in this direction I see the front of the wheel, so that'll be a heavy line there. Then sitting on the wheel I've got the rectangle, which is this guy. So when that comes across, this will be heavy here. There we go. Then I've got the sloping surface, which I can see there. Now after I see the sloping surface and that going through it, just looking here, that's where the seat is, that's absolutely fine. But there will be a bit of hidden detail where I can't see the seat. So that line there is hidden detail. Okay, now I'm going to get the sloping surface at the ends. You can see that, but then it goes hidden detail down to there. Okay, so there we have the end elevation done, except I have another bit of hidden detail, because when I'm looking in this direction there is a surface underneath, okay, which is behind the wheels. So this guy actually should be hidden detail as well, go the whole way across. Okay, so there is my end elevation done. Now we're going to get over here and we're going to finish it off. So any information, measurements, so these guys are going to come down and down. And when they come down, they're going to come across and across. Okay, now any information you have on the elevation, we're going to bring it down. So the length will come down. That'll come down, down, the wheel comes down, and it looks like that, some contact there to me, it looks like it's on the same line, so that's okay. Bring this down, and that one's already down, and then I will have to bring this down as well, that's an important guy. I'll bring that down. Okay, so when I look along the outside I can actually heavy in the whole outer perimeter on both sides, and I can actually heavy in, what did I think of it, the whole rectangle. Okay, so you can see there, excuse me, so you can see there, I just have to move there. We can see there that when we look down on top of it, we can actually see the whole outline, okay? And it's going to appear as a rectangle. Now, when I look down on top of it, I've got this little guy here, which is here and here in the end elevation. So if I follow it down and follow it over, that's where that little guy is. But just gonna, there's that, and there's the slanted surface. Just draw what you can see first. So I can see that's the slanted surface. The surface there in the middle is the guy on top, and there's the slanted surface to the other side. Then I've got this little yellow platform is here, so that means this guy is heavy. Okay, so that guy is heavy. Then I've got the gap in between, which is here. So when I look down top of it, it's there. And then I've got these little rectangles, which are between these two lines. They're here. Here. Okay, and then where does it end? Well, it ends in front of the wheel. And those little guys then will come down as far as here. That's where that guy came down. And we're nearly there. Okay, and that there is the plan view almost done. The only thing that I would always have to look for then in the plan is, do I have any hidden detail? So looking down on top of it there, it looks like it could have an edge in here. Now, as far as I'm concerned, that's like a tangent going into it. Now, is it a tangent going into a face? Yeah, there probably would be a line in there actually. So it's a tangent, so there would be an edge in there where the wheel goes in at the back. It's tricky, so I would probably myself put that in as a hidden detail line. Okay, I probably would put that one in as a hidden detail line. And the other hidden detail line, well, there's one there, but that's clouded over. And the other one is this one, which is also kind of clouded over by the wheel, but there would be a tiny bit of hidden detail in there. And based off of that, yep, that is our drawing complete. So there you have it, guys. That there is the elevation drawn, plan drawn, end elevation drawn, or end view as they call it. And the last part here, it says, in elevation, colour or shade the surface which is not a true shape. So what surface is not a true shape in the elevation view here? Well, the wheel is a true shape, the yellow surface is a true shape, the slanted surface isn't. So this surface in elevation, it tells me colour or shade the surface which is not a true shape. The slanted surface in the direction of the elevation, sloping away from us, so that surface is not a true shape. Okay, so there you have it, folks. I hope you found it helpful. That was the 2025 Junior Cert orthographic question. Okay.